Today we are going to answer the ultimate question: is there such a thing as a legitimate multi-level marketing company? And is multi-level marketing direct sales? I recently finished reading this book right here. It is called Direct Selling, a Nonfiction Fable by Robert Fitzpatrick. He is the author of False Prophets and Ponzi-nomics. Ponzi-nomics, in my opinion, is the Bible for anti-MLM content. I have an affiliate link to it in my description right now. To answer this question, is there such a thing as a legitimate MLM? Let's first understand what multi-level marketing is, or rather what it claims to be. I'm going to read from the FTC's website, Multi-Level Marketing Businesses and Pyramid Schemes. Now, if you think it is peculiar, to say the least, that MLM and pyramid scheme share a page on the FTC's site, then you're like me. Because if they truly are different things, why would they share the same page? Businesses that involve selling products to family and friends and recruiting other people to do the same are called multi-level marketing, network marketing, or direct marketing businesses. Some MLMs are illegal pyramid schemes. Interesting. MLM companies sell their products or services through person-to-person sales. That means you're selling directly to other people, maybe from your home, a customer's home, or online. Most MLMs say you can make money two ways. Before we break down the two ways to see this, if this is even plausible or reasonably suggestible that this is a real thing, let's understand what direct selling is. So I've bookmarked a page. This part of the book actually takes place after the main narrative, so I'm not really spoiling anything. Let me read to you from this. Little story time with Grandpa here, okay? Not only do few people today have personal experience with real direct selling, they've also never seen it or have any memory of it. The iconic door-to-door peddler disappeared more than 40 years ago. A typical recruit in MLM was not yet born when real direct selling was already extinct. In fact, most people have never been involved in any kind of commission-based one-on-one selling, even in retail stores or over the phone, much less face-to-face. Most selling today is not done face-to-face, but indirectly, even subconsciously, with ingenious and persistent advertising, graphic packaging, social media influencers, banner ads, pop-up ads, search engines, celebrity endorsers, psychological branding, stealthy product placements, mysterious algorithms, and secretly gathered metadata used for manipulating our identity and preferences. Invisible sellers know everything about us. We know almost nothing of them or their methods. In the era of Amazon and Costco, how would an individual direct seller survive? With almost everything readily available, cheaper, and in more variety in stores or online, what products need direct selling? Most consumers don't have time or want to be sold directly. If direct sellers recruit other direct sellers, as all are told to do in MLM, aren't they creating their own competitors? How many direct sellers can any area support? Doesn't face-to-face selling require a rare aptitude to persuade, maintain initiative, stay organized, withstand rejection, and not become discouraged? How could millions of people possess these skills? Spitting straight bars so far, in my opinion. The Direct Selling Association claims to have millions of direct sellers making a living and living prosperously from their direct selling enterprises today. Do you think, you a rational person watching this video right now, do you think that it is feasible or likely or even possible that there could be people out here today direct selling, meaning they paid to join a company, they bought product from that company, or they just merely paid for the opportunity to join, and are going to make a living, pay real bills, pay the rent, selling, whether it's from social media or their warm market of friends and family, or just going out into the world and talking to people out on the street? Do you think this is a viable, feasible way that people could make money in 2023 when we have Amazon, Walmart, Target, Costco, etc.? You would be competing with all of these brands that have made it so easy, so frictionless to get the things that you want. With Amazon, you can click and have virtually anything you desire at your door within one day. Why you would go and talk to someone directly, whether it's face-to-face or meeting up with them or over Instagram, I don't see it. It's the same reason why Blockbuster no longer exists today. It is an obsolete business model. Technology advanced, and we found a more convenient way. And in capitalism, convenience always wins. This should add to the hilarity and the nonsense when MLM companies say we are the Amazon or the Uber or the Airbnb of blank. What Amazon, Uber, and Netflix did was revolutionary because they cut out the middleman. They expedited a process that for generations and generations, there was no workaround for. If you really were keen on making sales of a product yourself, chances are you would probably look to social media as the main way you would do that. And if you had a strong social media following that you actually could turn around and monetize, it wouldn't make sense to you to have to pay some MLM company first to access products before you start leveraging that audience, when you can already join an affiliate program for a site like Amazon. The beauty of that is that it doesn't cost you anything. It didn't cost me anything to sign up as an Amazon affiliate seller. That is the incentive already for Amazon. I have the platform. I am selling stuff on their behalf, and all it would cost them in the end is to shave off 10% for me, which doesn't hurt them. They're already making profit. Obviously, their margin was higher than 10%. You could also just go on like Alibaba and source the raw materials that you need for your business and sell them from your own online store or social media page. You don't need an MLM company to do it. Once again, MLM companies are defying the laws of nature when it comes to business by making a process that has already been streamlined, more convoluted by adding a middleman of a direct salesperson, or in the case of an influencer who wants to monetize their audience, they are inserting themselves as the middleman between you and your audience who you could already sell product to anyways without them. Why you would join an MLM company where you have to pay to join the opportunity, pay for monthly fees, commit X amount of time to doing Zoom meetings and whatever other trainings they want you to do, spending money on event tickets and all this other flim-flam and nonsense that comes along with being involved in an MLM makes zero sense to me. So let's see what the FTC says about this amazing business opportunity here of MLM. Most MLMs say you can make money two ways: by selling the MLM products yourself to retail customers who are not involved in the MLM. The second way is by recruiting new distributors and earning commissions based on what they buy and their sales to retail customers. All right, you're sitting there, you're a direct salesperson for this multi-level marketing company, this legitimate multi-level marketing company, and you think to yourself, this is pretty tough. I'm out here trying to sell my shampoo or my protein powder and compete with and steal market share away from already established brands and retailers, people already know and trust. So, the light bulb goes off. Rather than me going out here and trying to sell a bunch of stuff and make a bunch of 10% commissions, why don't I just recruit as many people as possible and I'll get 5% off each of them? Because as people in MLMs love to argue with me when I debate them, they say, I would rather have 1% of $1 million than 100% of $100. And that's the way that they justify this idea of recruiting new people constantly. But as Robert said in the book, if you are recruiting more people to make sales, aren't you then just recruiting your own competition? Why wouldn't you go and just make more sales? The amount of effort it would take for you to increase in customers is probably equal to or less than the effort it would take you to recruit new people who then go and become distributors, right? In theory. So you've settled on the idea that recruiting new distributors makes a lot more sense than going out and trying to make sales, because you don't want to be doing all that legwork, spending all that time messaging all those people. So you would rather just recruit people and earn off what they sell. Genius. But now, because the market is being saturated with more salespeople, the likelihood that any one of those salespeople is going to have success in selling is greatly diminished. For you, it makes a lot of sense to have lots of people under you, because that's how you're going to make the money. You just sit back and collect the passive income, residual income, right? Well, how long is it going to take before they catch on and realize, hey, damn, what's going on here? Not only am I also having a very tough time trying to compete with Amazon, Target, Walmart, and Costco, but I see that Marco has figured out this whole new strategy where instead of him going out and selling, he's just recruited people and now he makes money off their sales. So I'm going to do the same thing, and so on and so on and so on. So you see how even the most well-intentioned hypothetical MLM company that seeks to follow these two criteria outlined by the FTC, you realize that this is a completely preposterous idea that is doomed to become a pyramid scheme regardless of your intention. Because we've already established selling products to retail customers yourself probably isn't going to go so well. And two, recruiting new distributors and earning commissions based on what they buy and their sales to retail customers is even more ridiculous because everyone is going to catch on. And then you have the ultimate problem. You recruit 5 people who recruit 5 people who recruit 5 people, and that cycle can only be repeated 13 times before you deplete the entire population of the earth. And then in bold letters it says, if the MLM is not a pyramid scheme, it will pay you based on your sales to retail customers without having to recruit new distributors. This adds another layer of madness to this hypothetical legitimate MLM, which is that in every MLM I have ever looked at, your sales to new distributors, you do get commissions off those, and it does count towards your total volume and your rank and the amount of money you get paid. So on the FTC site, it says it should be based on sales to retail customers who are not involved in the MLM. But in every actual MLM, this is their main MO, to recruit someone and sell to them as part of their recruiting, to link together the sale of the product and the recruitment. So technically you didn't get paid to recruit, but when you recruited, you got paid. No MLM I have ever looked at focuses on trying to make sales to a genuine market of customers out in the world who are not themselves involved in the scheme. I think we've answered the question pretty concretely. Is MLM direct selling? The answer is no, MLM is not direct selling. MLM is a system by which they disguise themselves as direct selling by making retail sales to customers, but those customers are actually the new participants who are buying that product as a means of disguising the cost of their recruitment and disguising the fact that you are being paid to recruit people, aka a pyramid scheme, and misappropriating terms like customer. So they've completely conflated all the jargon and all these terms, and it's a complete misdirection. The FTC goes on to say, most people who join legitimate MLMs make little or no money. Most people who join legitimate MLMs make little or no money? So then what exactly makes it legitimate? MLMs and pyramid schemes share the same page on the FTC's site. Second of all, they say in the heading, some MLMs are illegal pyramid schemes. Then they say, most people who join legitimate MLMs make little or no money. Some of them lose money. And in some cases, it turns out to be an illegal pyramid scheme that steals everything they invest and leaves them deeply in debt. Why, after reading this, would anyone want to associate themselves with one of these companies? I think an even better question is, how does the FTC think that this is a legitimate business? Well, you might find it interesting to learn that the FTC has identified over 30 companies that have been shut down or received some sort of reprimand or temporary restraining order on its multi-level practices, but the FTC has never named one company that operates as a legitimate multi-level marketing company. Why then does the FTC make this declaration that MLMs and pyramid schemes are two different things? For that, we can thank the Direct Selling Association. The Direct Selling Association, which represents all these MLMs, they have a lobbying office right there on K Street. When I was in Washington, D.C. back in March, I actually took a picture out front of these offices. This is, in my opinion, the headquarters of the Illuminati, the headquarters of this cartel. They call themselves the Direct Selling Association. What they really are is the Multi-Level Marketing Association. And what is multi-level marketing? A fancy sounding word for pyramid schemes. Do you see the layers of deception here? You have an association, which is a massive, massive lobbying force on K Street in Washington, D.C. that spends millions and millions, where's the button? Billions and billions of dollars every single year to lobby politicians, lobby Congress, give political gifts and donations to politicians to protect their interests, making sure that the interference from the FTC is limited or non-existent. I've talked before about how there is a revolving door of FTC officials and the MLM industry. Oftentimes, after people leave high positions in government, high-ranking positions in government, it is not uncommon to see them go on to become the paid board member of some MLM company or a paid consultant. What does a consultant mean for some 70, 80-year-old person who used to be in the FTC or used to be in Congress? Well, it means that you access their Rolodex of political connections so that if they ever get in hot water, they can call up and say, hey, FTC Joe, make sure you take it easy on these guys. Look the other way. That's all it is. It is well documented that 99% of annual MLM participants lose money. It is well documented and proven that the design of any MLM system, regardless of how deceptively they try and change it, they have all these different ones. Oh, this is a binary plan. This is a unilevel plan. This is a forced matrix. It's all complete nonsense trying to divert your eyes away from what is the same thing at the heart of it, an endless chain recruiting pyramid scheme. And it's well documented the deception they use, even in the terms, like even getting into talking about it. We're the Direct Selling Association. Well, direct selling doesn't exist. So what are you representing? Well, multi-level marketing. Okay, what is multi-level marketing? It's direct selling. Well, no, it's not, because direct selling doesn't exist. So what is multi-level marketing? They're pyramid schemes. That's what they are. They are commercial cults. I made a big mistake when I spoke at that conference in Washington, D.C., that MLM conference. I was sitting there in this room with economists and lawyers and attorney generals and FTC staff, and I made the mistake. And Robert graciously pointed out my error to me. I'll correct myself on this now. At the end of my speech, in trying to be very cooperative and careful with my words and delicate, I said, in reference to MLM, that this industry urgently needs better regulations or something like that. First of all, this industry that I was referring to is not an industry at all. There is nothing industrious going on. They don't make anything that is new or innovative that is changing the market or shifting the market demand for people who are buying products and services. It's repackaged goop and lotions and potions that you can already get for cheaper, for better quality, etc., etc., etc. And also, when I said tighter regulation, this is nonsense too, because what we are talking about is calculated deception and defrauding of people in mass by lying and fake flexing on Instagram and logical fallacies and confusing compensation plans. It doesn't need stricter regulation. It needs to die. Are we going to try and regulate murder and theft? It's completely ridiculous. And of course, the Direct Selling Association, they will say, we have very strict ethical standards and, we self-govern ourselves. Think about how insane that is. Imagine a coalition of murderers coming together and going, well, we're making sure that all these other murderers in our association, they murder the right way. And we're not going to call it murdering. We're going to call it life status changers. We have a great industry of people who change the life status of people from living to unliving. And just it's just fluff. It's just fucking slave mind matrix nonsense. To say we're going to regulate multi-level marketing is to already make several errors in that sentence. It's to suggest that you could regulate a scam that is inherently based on deception and fraud, and then also to refer to it as multi-level marketing affords it a status that it doesn't deserve. It makes it sound like it's a legitimate business or a legitimate form of marketing. Well, it's not. It's a pyramid scheme. Really, instead of saying we need to regulate multi-level marketing, what we should be saying is we need to ban pyramid schemes. I know there are people who think that banning multi-level marketing isn't going to do anything because there's always going to be a scam. I think that's a ridiculous stance. There's always going to be murder too. Does that mean we shouldn't try to quell murder? Of course not. Ponzi schemes will probably always exist, but protecting an entire organization that is recognized as a legal legitimate entity is completely ridiculous. The longer it goes on, the harder it is to stop that, because they dig their claws in deeper every year. They will spend more money on lobbying. They will expand and reach their tentacles into other countries where regulators in those countries have to deal with, subsidiaries of Amway in that country, which doesn't have anything to do with the United States. That's why you see, by the way, other countries making decisions about multi-level marketing companies that aren't universal. It's why India classified Amway and its entire organization as a Ponzi scheme, but it didn't affect Amway USA or Amway Canada. And so it's like everybody's left to fend for themselves. There is no organized group or fund or association to fight against multi-level marketing and any sort of established, there's no lobbyists fighting on behalf of anti-MLM. So we're in a very early stage of this right now, and it's sometimes feels like a mountain to climb, because I know how many people still don't understand the nuances of this and what we are really up against and really talking about, and how deep it goes and how sinister it is, and the connections to the very top of the top echelons of society. Financially speaking, it is the biggest scam of all time. And when it comes to the way these companies operate as cults, the way you could have hundreds of thousands of people in one company, let alone the entire industry, we're talking about millions of people, tens of millions of people globally, 99% of them verifiably are not making any money. As a matter of fact, they are losing money. The fact that you could have these people showing a religious level of devotion to their multi-level marketing company is evidence that not only is MLM the biggest financial scam of all time, it is also the biggest destructive cult of all time. People talk about Scientology, and there's all these documentaries about Scientology was so crazy, and Jonestown, and all these, oh wow, that's an insane story. No, this is an insane story. And I really think it might take like a few generations. Maybe I'll be an 80-year-old man on the hologram TV news being like, I told you. People are going to look back and be like, God damn, there was millions of people in this? Millions of people thought that if they recruited 5 people who recruited 5 people who recruited 5 people, they'd be a millionaire? So we have reasoned, just using our brains, using common sense and what we know about the world, that the idea that MLM is direct selling is complete nonsense. And we've gone one level deeper, multi-level deeper, and realized that even the term multi-level marketing is a deception. So not only is multi-level marketing not direct selling, multi-level marketing is not even multi-level marketing, this made-up term that the industry, which is not even an industry, has used to try to legitimize what they do. What they do is pyramid scheme scamming. Multi-level marketing means pyramid scheme.